2023 is already off to a great start at the movies. Hi everybody, I'm Luke Filmboss here, and today I will be reviewing M3GAN. It may surprise some people, but M3GAN is actually as good, or at least almost as good, as 3 of my top 5 spots from 2022's ranking, which, if you don't believe me, go see it. It's that good. M3GAN is just simple, but it's also just interesting. Like, it tackles like the AI kind of idea that's been done multiple times, but it takes it from like this different angle, this different perspective, and that makes the plot interesting because it has to do with the way like the human brain works, and it has to do with how technology is affecting children and how it's kind of taking over because it's becoming so convenient and so important in our lives today that it's kind of replacing some of the old traditional values like parenting and stuff, like a lot of that responsibility, not only the entertainment of our children and, you know, some of the more practical sides, like making sure your kid gets to bed on time, making sure they wash their hands, like little things like that. Because technology is becoming so advanced, like it's lessening the parent's responsibility, but it's also creating more of a bond with the child, between the child and that technology. And M3GAN like portrays this concept so well, to the point where it's almost realistic, even though this is like a AI like doll that's way more advanced than anything we have yet. Although there are AIs that are getting to that point, but not quite like it's shown in this movie. But it's actually, that's where this film does qualify as a horror film, in my opinion, because it actually is scary. It's not just this robot killer flick. Like, it's actually kind of scary, like by a psychological standpoint, that it just makes this movie so gripping because you don't know how the main child in the movie, Katie, you don't know how she's going to end up by the end of this movie, whether or not she's going to full on like try to be with M3GAN for the rest of her life, or if she's going to realize, even at her age as a kid, like if this robot is bad, like realizing that, because the robot becomes her best friend. It becomes the person, even though it's a robot, it becomes the person that she emotionally bonds with. And so that makes it hard for her to kind of let go and realize that it's not a person, that it's not what she needs. I love this movie is just really deep, and beyond that, it's actually got some really good like just writing, suspense. Like the characters all work very well in context of like how the story plays out, and it just makes it really interesting. Beyond all of the like good suspense and like psychological thriller horror stuff, like this movie actually has some good like emotional strengths to it, between the aunt Gemma and her niece Katie, because in this movie Katie loses her parents, and so her guardianship goes over to the aunt Gemma. And Gemma is like a business minded, like she's not really good with kids, and she like has to learn how to become a parent to Katie, which is why she makes the M3GAN doll in the first place, is to give Katie a companion who can love her, because she feels like she can't do it herself. Like she's not doing a good enough job. It's getting in the way of her own personal time that she needs to spend working on her job and stuff. And so that's where all of these problems come in, and it just works really well. And then by the end, she realizes that she has to be there personally for Katie, and she can't let the technology do it. I like that the AI M3GAN, throughout the whole movie, her objective is to protect Katie. Like everything she does throughout the movie, pretty much, is all in her AI mind, is all to protect Katie. Like, she feels like she's doing, and I say she, but it's an AI, but M3GAN is doing what, in her mind, is right for Katie, which also makes, like, you have this AI character who gets corrupted, but it's more than an AI. Like, M3GAN actually kind of does become her own person and her own character in this film, and so much so to the point where you actually kind of understand where M3GAN is coming from, even though she is an artificial intelligence that was created by Gemma, and yet you kind of understand and kind of feel for this robot at times, but then the robot is just also downright crazy because it doesn't think like a human. And it's pretty much like, kind of like iRobot with Will Smith, but it's simpler, it's more deep, like it's got more like depth to the point of it, and it's also just like more straightforward and simple. It's not this big world domination kind of thing. And I think that that's probably one of M3GAN's strengths, is that it's so like big. Like, you have this AI who's literally able to hack into almost every system that she comes across, but her main objective isn't to take over humanity. Her main objective is just to protect Katie. I love how that from the very first scene of the movie, M3GAN, the movie M3GAN, establishes that this world that the movie M3GAN takes place in is not our world. This is not our actual reality that, like, me and you live in. Like, this is a made-up version of our world where this giant toy company is like one of the biggest corporations in the world, even though it doesn't actually exist in real life. And I like how the filmmakers just paid attention and actually worked on little details like that to work into the story that really don't affect the plot too much, but also establish M3GAN as something that's unique to itself. It's not trying to be connected to our world. It's literally what a good movie should be, an escape where it's real, but it's also very much so different and fake from our actual reality. And it's just a very tightly woven, very well written movie. It's just great, to be honest. I loved M3GAN. So M3GAN started off 2023 with a bang. It's great. I love it. I would suggest going to see this if you are a teenager or older. It would be a good movie for, I think, teenagers to go see. Depending on how old they are, maybe have some parental supervision just to like discuss it. It's definitely a good movie. I would say have like a parent and teenager like movie night with this film. It's great for that. With the topics that this movie deals with, it's a great thing to kind of discuss and watch with your teenagers. Overall, it's just a really solid movie. There's not a lot of like overall like graphic stuff in it. It's PG-13. It does have one F-bomb, and there is a little bit of blood, but there's not a lot of gore in it. It's very much like the swearing and the blood is very much so used in moderation, and it's only used to like excite and like up the antiques and kind of give it a little bit more of that intensity. And so this is a very well-made movie that just uses every little bit of itself, and it only uses it to make it better. Like, if it doesn't make this movie better, it usually is not included there. So overall, I give M3GAN a 90% overall. I just couldn't go quite lower than a 9 out of 10, but it also can't go quite up anymore because it's not like this over-the-top amazing film. It's just a very well-made movie that has a really, really important theme discussed throughout it. And it's just executed very well. So that's my review of M3GAN. Thank you all for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell to help you be on the lookout for more videos from Luke Film Boss.